Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and today is the last day of Calvinball. It's the last day of the month of March, and Calvinball has been going on all month. I, sad to say, have not had the time to play as much as I would have liked, but I did want to give this a shot. This is my annual 100-point page. And these are all the things I have gathered to get points. Some of them are worth 1 point. Some of them are worth more because I can combine. So we'll just kind of see what we end up with. I long ago, like a few weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe, saw this layout by Julie Taylor, who you know is one of my favorites. And I took one look at it and thought, okay, Calvinball page. This is the kind of page that has enough layers that you can tuck things in and kind of hide things and partially show them and not overwhelm the page with 100 embellishments. So let's get started. I'm not going to bore you by going through the list of Calvinball points. Know that I went through the list and gathered these things. And when I got to about 100, and there's some points kind of in the stuff that's already laid out, I thought, okay, that's going to make a good enough page. So my theme sorta is driven by Julie's page, which is about getting keys to a new home. But I found a while back, I have no idea where this came from. This is a wide angle photo of our house taken, it's after James got the truck. I don't have any idea why, but it's printed on plain paper and it's torn. This part is torn off. So I thought, why not just use it like it is and kind of choose photos that show this. I found this title from Bramble Fox. It's Homegrown Happiness. And I thought I'd throw a couple of houses. I think I have a Bramble Fox house in here somewhere. And we'll see what we end up with. So this is kind of what the center part of mine is going to look like. And then I'm going to start adding all kinds of stuff everywhere. But I needed to lay this out so I knew where to put this mixed media. And I'm going to do some ink blending. There are points to be had when you do some ink blending. And I'm choosing a couple of different blues. And there are some words, and I don't know if, no, I didn't want them to be able to be read. So I'm glad that is how they turned out. So I'm going to come over here and do a splat. And then I'm going to do this blue, and I'm going to kind of do part of the splat. Okay, and then I don't know if I need any down here. Let's see at how we do as I fit things on the page. I have not dry fitted any kind of design other than what you see here, and this is taken from Julie's layout. So I'm going to put the stencil off to the side. That's a Bramble Fox stencil. I forget the name, but it's a great stencil in that it has the word create. You can do that. It has splats and splatters, and there's some words that can all be highlighted in different ways with ink and pen and stuff like that. So I'm going to put Julie's layout off to the side. I may bring it back and do a little bit of a comparison here. But right now, I'm just going to try to start putting the page together. I have taken this is a 49 in market kind of lace border piece. It's a laser cut, and I had a purple one and a blue one. I have purple elsewhere on the page. I get a point for purple. And this, I want the long side. I guess I want it like this. I'm going to kind of push this stuff up and lay this here. I'm hoping that that's straight enough. Okay, let me pull this. The reason you get a point for having 3 or more photos, and you get a point for having a black and white photo, you get a point for having a selfie. So those are some of the ways that you can accumulate points. I'm gonna put this down in the opposite order. This is a 6x6 page. I get a point for using a 6x6 or a 6x8 using a small paper pad. And you get a point for plaid. So I'm going to lay that down. That's going to be the main background. And then I'm going to kind of stuff all these other things back there in some sort of order. Maybe the one that they're in, but maybe not. I'm just going to kind of tape them down at the bottom. I'm going to put that there, kind of lined up with this. The black stripe, I need to be able to tuck things, and this is not letting me tuck. There we go. I can probably put this back. When I'm doing Calvinball, I really have to clear things off my desk so that I can get to all the stuff that needs to be on there. I have this strip of polka dot paper. I get a point for polka dots, and I'm going to use this color. I'm going to repeat this color. So I'm just going to lay this down to kind of I'm going to put an embellishment there, but I wanted this to go all the way over to there, so that's obviously part of the design. Okay, let me get that down. There. This is going to go, okay, that's not sticking. Okay, I need to do this. There. And this can go right there. Or do I maybe want to try to do this? Okay, I like that with the black and white kind of subdued a little bit. And then I have this, which goes up there. Okay, and then there's room for embellishments all around. Okay, so that's good. Now this, I'm kind of just gonna, I want it to look like I just kind of laid the pictures down, not, and I'm gonna cut this one doesn't have a white border, and I don't like the white borders on these others. I kind of like putting the title there. So I'm going to try that and maybe do the photos this way. Something kind of random looking. And there are big areas on each photo that you can overlap, or at least on this one, for example, there's a lot above my head where those stars are, and I could definitely overlap something there. And this makes them a little smaller. It's not, my blade needs to be changed, and I hate making you, and see right here, there's a little bit of overlap there too. I wanted some pictures inside the house and some pictures outside the house. And this photo of John was at the last, it wasn't really the last. He got up and around and ate with us on my birthday. But this was the last event before he got sick. And he was, perfectly fine painting pumpkins. And yeah, he had Parkinson's, and so his he didn't have a lot of confidence in his ability to do things like painting. But we went on a vacation, went down to Margaritaville Beach Hotel. At least that's what it was called then. It's not anymore, down in Pensacola. And they had an art class in the lobby one morning. And we went there, and he did a great job painting the Pensacola sign. And he was, it was awkward, but he did it anyway. He was embarrassed, but he did it anyway. It was just, I don't know, it's great. So this is a slip and slide that we set up for, I guess it was Barrett's birthday party. And we had that set up in the front yard, and there's James taking a picture of it. So like, let's say we could put that one there, and this one here. Let's put that way, and this one this way. And that's not gonna work. How about we do these two like this? And I'll make one taller than the other. I'm going to cut a little bit off the bottom of this one because I like those at different heights. There and there. And then I could do this, and I could cut that top off, that extra part up there. And then I'll move the house picture over to the... Okay. I'd like to get this base part done because the embellishing is going to be lots of fun. Let's put the house right here. No, let me put that. I'm going to move it over so that the tear of the house still shows this orange strip, and I think that's where I want that to stay. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll move this over here, kind of a little off to that side. And what I'm going to do here is put some foam behind, and it's thick foam. It's going to hold it on, but it's also going to, well, actually, let's do it this way. I'll let it adhere down here. adhere down here. Okay, and we'll go this way. I'm maybe gonna do it, you know, I need to stop worrying about it. I'm gonna do it this way and press hard down here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, except kind of angle it off that way, and then I'm gonna sneak this guy in here. Let me do that right there, and then I'm gonna do this on my picture. I'm going to press down and then just put that on to lift it. All right, so I've got that, and my title can go exactly where I want it. And I'm going to I'm going to put some liquid glue down on the plate here. And I'm not having much luck with that. So there we go. And I'm going to get one of these. Okay. Let me get that back over here. And get that thrown away. Okay, I've got my liquid glue there, and what am I trying to do next? Let's go with this kind of. I'm going to stop worrying about dimension, because you know what? By the time all this stuff gets put on here, the dimension will come. There will be dimension. Okay. Now, I'm gonna maybe put this ampersand right there. And there's where I'm gonna need some glue. Okay, and yes, I got a point for an ampersand. I have a, well, let's do this. I need to put this doily, and I noticed Julie had kind of inserted a doily kind of in some of the layers. So I'm going to put this one right there. And I'm going to put some glue right there for it to stick to. And then, all right, that is there. I've got, there's a point for bubbles. Let me get the bubbles. I'm going to use that salty ocean color and do some bubbles. Let's see, where do I want bubbles? I'm going to put the bubbles. You know what? Did I get that on? That is not on straight, but you know what? I'm just going to have to live with it. Here's some bubbles. There we go. Oops. I got the edge of the stamp. I hate when that happens, and that happens a lot with me, for me, when I use wood wood block stamps. So I'll find some way to cover that up. I have a thing here that I need to use, and I want to use it on a paper layer. There's a point for a banana, and I found, and there's a point for metal, there's a point for gold, and I found a banana, a metal banana that is trimmed in gold. So let me see where the banana needs to go to cover that up. It's like a pin that sort of works like a brad. So I get a brad point, and I'm going to count it for that. Okay, there we go. And that's the fact that this is, you know, standing up. I'm going to go ahead and glue the title. Okay. There we go. And that's a Bramble Fox title that I've been hoarding. I knew I wanted to do a page like this about all the fun of the house. There's this tab that says Big Feelings, and I might want to put it, where do I want to put it? Maybe here. That's exactly the right length. Okay, so that works on that photo. I have this paper clip. I'm going to put some glue down at the bottom of that and use it on this photo of me, the selfie. We all took selfies that night and then used Instagram to filter them, to add goofiness. I'm gonna put a let me get this in here. I thought this was black and white twine, and it's navy and white, and I'm still gonna use it because there's navy here, right? I'm okay with that. Let's see, where did my tweezers go? Do I have a pair of tweezers here? Come on. Where did my tweezers go? Okay, come on. I'm having a little trouble there. And I'm just gonna let it kind of dangle around. I have there's a point for a bow, and I have another for that. Because this is home, and you might have a weather vane on top of a home, I'm gonna use this this weather vane from Bramble Fox. I'm gonna go ahead and put it over the photo. You get a point for a chicken, and that's because Alice, those of you who know Alice Bull, who is our fearless leader at Scrap Happy, Alice raises chickens. She loves chickens, and I have been looking for an excuse to use this Bramble Fox chicken, which may have come in the same set that this Homegrown Happiness came. I don't want that to mess with my title, so I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do this and this, and I believe there's a point for fringe. There has been in the past, and so I'm gonna do I'm going to separate that into, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut that off entirely, and I'll do something else. I didn't like how that looked, so we'll figure something else out. I need silver and I need a star, so why not put a silver star somewhere? And I'm going to kind of have it coming out from back behind there. That does, it kind of lifts things, and I like that. There is a point for a disco ball, and there's a point for a lollipop. So I'm using the same images, one of them upside down, and that is your disco ball. And this is a lollipop. It's the same image. I don't want to cover Ava there. Let's see. I can put it right there. It's chipboards from a oh, come on. Just kind of put that there. All right. And we need the color pink. We get a point for the color pink too. And there's a point for a globe. And I love this globe. And it has a butterfly. So if I don't have another butterfly in here, that one will work. There's we get a point for a bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of sneak the bottle back there. And I'll kind of lift up the neck. I'll curve the butterfly wings. This is off the packaging from Where To Next. Okay, there. And I've got, this is a ticket, and it's torn. I'm going to go ahead and kind of sneak it in right there, let it cross that line. I've got clouds here, some Amy Tangerine clouds. It's been a while since I've seen these, but I kind of like how they look. I have always liked those clouds, and I think that may be the last of my clouds. There's a point for tea, and this is a cup from an old Paige Evans collection. I might start, might need to start stacking things down at the bottom. I want to put some of the larger things. There's this book that I am going to layer this up because I know I'm going to tuck some things behind it. So I'm going to line it up like it's part of this center scape here. And I can layer, like I can put the tea, and there's some coffee and some other stuff in there that I can do. And I'm putting a bicycle here. There's a prompt for a gear. And I know this bicycle has gears. There's also a prompt for a tire. So this bicycle has tires. So I get the gear and the tire points. I could also use it for a circle point. Let's see. I'm looking for something that, well, an easy thing to slip in is this little film strip. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here, and then if I have a small embellishment, I can put it right there. One of the things that we that is to be included, that's my silver element, so I can use the red Mickey here, is Disney. One of the, you get a point for something related to Disney. Well, this is a red Mickey Mouse. You get a point for vellum, and I have a vellum flower right here. I think I may have other vellum things, but this is something I know I can kind of stick right there, and it's unobtrusive, and I can put something small on top of it. Like, for instance, I've got the star. I always do my overlapping hearts. I'm gonna do them here on this vellum flower right there. And I'm gonna find a button. Get a button. Do I want a button right there? Just a little button. Where would you put a button? I'm gonna put it right here, like it's holding that ticket down to the purple sheet. Okay, done with that. Probably done with this. Done with this. Done with that. Let's see. I think I don't need any more of these, so I can get those off the table. And then I have to figure out, I want some foam behind the book, and I was when I was last conscious of what I was doing, I was reaching for this, and I couldn't feel it back there, so I don't know what I was going to do next. Okay, I'm going to, whoa, there are two of these. Okay, I only need one. Put that in the stuff I don't need anymore. I'm going to do that. And how about if I did it over here? Whoops, it it sticks itself down when it wants to. I'm gonna do it here, kind of. You can still see the polka dot paper there, and I can still put some things on here. What I was looking for over here is there's another cup somewhere. You get credit for a soda, and I don't have a soda bottle. I used to have soda bottles, I know, in some of my, so I'm going to put that right there, and then this kind of layered beside it, kind of making some sense there. So that's tea and soda, and or it could be coffee. I have I have a sun. Did I put that? I did put that down. I have a sunshine here, and I have a snowflake. I'm going to put the sun right there, and the snowflake I'm going to have kind of layered right there. I don't want a whole lot of it showing. I messed up when I punched it, but as long as a little bit of it shows, we're fine. There's a point for a cowboy or a cowgirl, and I have this Woody, and from Toy Story. That's all. We also get a point for a Disney thing, and I've already got that, but I do need the cowboy, so I'm going to kind of put the cowboy here. And I'm going to put that off the side. I need scallops. I don't think that counts as scallops, but I'm going to take this strip of scallops, and I'm going to kind of put it under here and overlap those polka dot ones. Let me see if I can get that in. Okay, that works. I just need to trim that little bit off. And I'm going to put that there because I can probably use that on another page. There is I got a point for a photo corner. So let me pull this photo corner here, and I'm going to put it right on this one, this photo. It's not fitting. How is that? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the back off, the part that it slides into, and I'm just going to put some adhesive. I'm going to pull that off, get the gold part separated, and then I'll put some glue back there, and then I can put it anywhere I want on this photo. It doesn't have to stick out like a sore thumb. Okay, there we go. And I have this little bat, the cutest little bat. I'm supposed to have a bat, and I was looking for kind of like a mean bat, and I found this guy instead, and he just looks so cute. I want to have him haunting the house. There we go. You get a point for a beach umbrella, and I think I'm going to do, because of the way the beach umbrella is oriented, I'm going to take up the Woody and put him over here. Make sure I don't cover up the ampersand. There you go. And then I can put this over here. I can do that, and that is kind of, sitting outside and reading and pretending we're at a beach. And we have done that at this house. That is actually something we've done. Don't think I need anything from there. Don't think I need anything from here. These are some really tiny birds and some little things. I may look back at that, but I'm going to get it off the desk right now. Don't need these. I was going to use the Minnie Mouse with the rainbow and the clouds. I'd get a point for a Disney creature, a point for the rainbow, and a point for the clouds. But I have those clouds, and I have another little rainbow in here somewhere, so I'm not going to use those. Put those back. There's a point for a rub-on and a point for lace. I don't have any lace on there, but I do have this beautiful purple rub-on, and if you're watching, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all my purple stuff. I tuck a little bit of it onto nearly every page, and this one was definitely gonna get this, and I'm thinking I might put it down here in this little area. Oh, and you're not able to see really where I'm working down here. I'm gonna kind of tuck it right in there. That is not exactly where I want it, but it's pretty much stuck down, so I'll live with it. And okay, now we'll get that up and there. Okay, you see that it's not obtrusive, or it doesn't like really stand out that much. I've got this little bow, and I had thought I might put it down at the bottom of this if it looked like it was, and it's kind of an odd bow. It looks upside down no matter which way you put it. Oh my goodness, why don't I put it right there? Yes. I love the fact that I've got purple and orange all over the page. There's a little bit of purple, a little bit of orange everywhere. We get a point for a hexagon and a point for the color, the lime green color, and a point for something embossed. And I have this hexagon. I'm gonna maybe layer it back here. That would be a good color to layer behind the bat, right? Woohoo! That acid green and the purple look gorgeous together. And since the little bat's face is lime green, it works really well. I should have cut it in half, but I don't mind using it there. It's gone for so long without being used. I have this tag that has a llama, and I get a point for a llama. So I want to try to find a way. I don't want to fussy cut the llama, but I may have I can do that, and then I can do another embellishment right there. I can have him just kind of halfway peeking out. Why not? He's covering up some of my stenciling, but you and I know that stenciling is there, right? Okay. There, I've got this, which is a panda bear. We get a point for a panda bear. I'm going to kind of tuck the panda bear, have the panda bear kind of peeking out like that. This, you get a point for a balloon and a point for birthday, and so I'm going to go ahead, because this was a birthday celebration, I'm going to put that there, but I also have a piece of cake. So I'm going to put the cake kind of down here where it doesn't cover up the house. Let me do, see how it needs to be on this side. Well, we'll do that and that. Kind of building stuff up on this border. And I'm going to go ahead and put this kind of adhesive on there. I may regret that at some point, and that's okay on there. I've got this thing that's a mouse, and I could fussy cut just the mouse, but I think I'd rather have the card. Let's see what I can put right here. Oh, there's a prompt for a trunk, and this looks like it's trunk sized. So I'm gonna, and this is kind of a travel icon. I'm gonna kind of put the trunk layered like, well, that's not gonna work. I can layer it under there. I can cut part of it off. How about that? and it'll look like it's layered under there. So there's that. I will keep that because I will use it. You get a point for a postage stamp and a boat. And I've got a postage stamp with a boat on it. And it is from, this is from Simple Stories, that one of the beachy collections designed by Katie Pertite. Vintage Coastal, maybe? That's what it was called. This is, I've got that there, and I kind of need something, kind of a collection of things that are attractive, sort of, right around there. Let's see. I have a Viewmaster. Okay, and this is very small, so I'm going to layer it somewhere, maybe there. And oh, here is another, there's a point for a mug, and I knew I had another drink type thing. So there's the mug, the tea, and the soda. I've got a punch. Oh, well, flowers. Let's go, I'm going to kind of switch gears here, and I'm going to pull out these flowers and see where they might want to go. I've got this one, which I think is kind of cute because it has different colors in it. And I could maybe put it right there. I'm good with that. And I could do this one here under the cake. The cake doesn't, and kind of tucked in there between the cake and Woody. And then I have these tiny flowers that I can kind of add. Don't want to do that. I'm just going to add this little tiny flower to add a bit of color here. So put that there, and there's the little orange one there. I'm gonna, okay, so that's already glued down. Now, all these flowers can go away. I can't get rid of this mouse if I want the mouse point. And who doesn't want the mouse point, right? You get a point for Easter stuff, and Easter, we celebrated Easter here too. So I'm gonna kind of do an egg there, and a different color egg there, and I'm gonna do this cute little bird. Get the bird point. And I'm gonna do it kind of like so, layered on top of the eggs. Those are not birds' eggs, but you know, wood grain, and you get a point for a girl or a woman and a point for wood grain. And this is a female. Let me put it, I may as well put it right on the thing. Okay, so now the little punch I'm going to add behind the florals, tuck underneath there, so they come out like that. And that lime green color, I was going to use these bramble fox leaves, but I don't need them because I have the lime green there. So I'm going to put those up there. There's a paper clip point. Oh, the hedgehog. Got to get the hedgehog in there. Where's the hedgehog going to go? The hedgehog needs to go. Does the hedgehog want to go here next to the woman? There's a lady and her hedgehog. And here is the avocado. That's my favorite Calvinball element. I'm going to kind of squeeze it in there by the postage stamp. I've got a label. I have the tab. The tab is here and the clip is there. I have a label. Where are we going to put this label, folks? Let's see. It could have gone right there. All I have to do really is move this and squeeze this in really so there's just a little bit showing, and it's at an angle, and then I go back and put this guy down kind of right where it joins. Okay, geotag. We need a geotag. Of course we need a geotag, and that should probably be over here where the globe is. I'm just going to put it there anyway, and I need something right there. There's another avocado. I don't need two. Put that there. There's an ice cream cone. Let me put this off to the side. There's an ice cream cone, or an ice cream. See how this works. Okay, so I've got to get this down. Over here we've got some treats kind of in the works here, so I'm going to put some glue behind this and put it right there and kind of close to the flowers, and then I'm gonna make sure this goes in that way. I think so. Lift that up, slide that in. That's the frosting on the ice cream, and there is a blue piece that goes in the bottom, but I kind of like it with it open like that. This guy needs to be tucked in someplace like that. My glue is drying up, so I gotta hurry. Got to hurry. Okay, I have this paper clip and no place to put it. I'm gonna call that my paper clip. This has a little camera, and I'm gonna tear the camera off and kind of sneak the camera in somewhere. Where am I going to put it? Where does one want a camera? I think maybe how about that's not what I wanted to do there. How about here? There we go. I'm gonna do the thing I said I wasn't gonna do, and I'm gonna fussy cut the rat with very simple lines, nothing fancy, and I'm not gonna stop and cut whiskers. Probably shouldn't even bother cutting feet, and I will get the tail, and I don't know how much of any of that's gonna show. let's, the idea of a mouse crawling up on a beach scene is kind of creepy. I'm just gonna maybe hide him back there. There we go. And this is a rub-on. I don't need a rub-on. We've already done a purple one. We're supposed to add a circle and a sloth. And this is a sloth facing straight on, and it's also a circle. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up here with the mouse. We should stack our rodents together, right? Dinosaur, I've already got hearts on there. Let me put this up there. There's a bunny rabbit that's kind of I'm going to put him over here by the hearts. Here's the bramble fox house that I was looking for a while ago. And I kind of wanted to put it like this. Kind of just layer it in front of the others. I've got that. And I'm just going to do this because it's not going to show. Okay, that works perfectly, I think. It's, again, kind of unobtrusive. A hexagon, I don't need this bramble fox hexagon. A clock, I do need a clock. And I'm going to, the neighbor kids are in the side yard. I can tell. Okay, let's see where the clock goes. I'm going to put the clock maybe over here on the morning beverages. What do I have here? Oh, a metal. It's metal, but I've already got something metal, so I don't need that. Circle. Oh, tiger and a cat, and I'm calling this a tiger and a cat. This tiger is a cat, so I'm claiming both the tiger point and the cat point here. So I'm gonna kind of, not a rodent, but he's going over there by the rodents. Water is one of the elements. Where's the there we go. And this is a it's a kind of a collage. It's a water scene with a sunset, behind it, and it's very small and subtle, and I'm going to put it over here by the beach scene because that's kind of where it belongs. Butterfly. I've already got that butterfly. Don't need this one. Rock. There was a you get a point for rock, and I'm gonna say that this represents rock music. And so there's my rock. There's a bee. I have a very tiny little bee here, and I'm gonna kind of stick him over here on the water. I have let's see, dinosaur. What color dinosaur do I want? I'm gonna go with the lime green dinosaur, like there. Dinosaur's talking to the avocado. I'm gonna put that off to the side. I need a bracket and an arrow. I've got let's see if I can. There we go. The bracket, where does the bracket want to go? The bracket wants to go, I still need something right there, and I'm hoping I can find it. I'm going to put the bracket here, just kind of bracketing in the, just another layer of something. That's a flower. I thought there was a prompt for an architectural element like a window, and I was going to maybe use this over the picture of the house, but as I checked, that was a different challenge. So I don't need that. I do need the arrow. Don't need these flowers. I do need a banner, or and this I'm going to do over the over this. I'm going to put it right there and have it cross over the disco ball. Frame. Have I? Okay, and gingham. I needed a gingham layer. Maybe I can do a torn little piece of gingham, kind of layered around that card, around the tag rather. Okay, there. Now this frame, I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and here and try to find a way to get it back here. There you go. You can still see the green hexagon. I want to bring that up kind of at an angle. There we go. I want it at an oddball angle. The thing I'm going to put there's a point for a sequin. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue and get this single lone baby sequin. And the color of that sequin is how I chose the color of ink for the blending in stuff. Okay, so the rainbow can go over by the weather elements, maybe here, kind of layered up behind the tag and up on the cloud. I need a crown, and where do I want the crown that it's not gonna look oddball? I needed watercolor, so instead of watercoloring on the page, which you probably never would have seen, I'm going to add this little sticker that has a watercolor set. And that works. There's a hashtag, and I've got room for a hashtag here. Let's see. I'll do that. That says I'm going to put the crown over here on top of the house. Do I want to put it like on top of the house? That's kind of silly. The whole thing is beginning to get silly, isn't it? I'm just going to lift this up and kind of layer it like that. And this is, a little stem of cherries. I get points for cherries. I'm going to go right here with the cherries. Oh my gosh. Okay. Then there are still some more things. There's a a splat or a splatter, and I've got that there, but there's washi tape, and these are made with washi tape. So I'm going to take this one, and oh, I didn't put the arrow on yet. I'm going to take this one and let it be a splat right there. Okay, and get this arrow. Where do I want the arrow? I love that this guy is just kind of peeking out. Oh shoot, I'm just going to put glue on it and see where it wants to be. There. It'll look like it's coming out from behind that. Okay, this looks clear. I've used the washi. I forget. Oh, numbers. There's. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put our house number, just for the hell of it. If I have to have random numbers, let's see. Do I want the black and silver ones, or do I want the I think I kind of like the craft colored ones. Put all that stuff over there. It's going to take me 2 hours to clean up. It took 2 hours to find all these things, and let's see. I'm going to put these like right here. Okay, and I'm almost finished. And yes, this is a Calvinball page. This looks like a Calvinball page. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Calvinball won't be here for another year, but there's a load coming up in May and another one in October, and then next February. So check out scraphappy.org and see all the features they have. And you too can make. This has, I believe, 112 individual elements on it. And the 112 probably represents a good maybe 120 points, or 130 maybe. I'm not going to go to that effort. I'm not doing this for points, but it's just an example of how many points you can fit on a page and what it looks like. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.